From portraying 11, L, in one of Netflix's most watched series, to solving mysteries better than Sherlock Holmes in Enola Holmes, Millie Bobby Brown has given us plenty of iconic scenes in her acting career, and I'm gonna reveal the most memorable ones. Let's start off with Millie's most memorable scene from Stranger Things. The Florence by Mills founder revealed that her favorite scene was from Season 4, Volume 1. It's the scene where 11 tells Mike that he's not loving her the way she wants to be loved. Hold up. So it's not the scene where she's regaining her powers after being powerless for so long? Or when she finally stood up against her bullies? Don't worry. Millie explained why she chose the emotional scene between the two lovebirds. She thinks that the scene is as authentic as a fictional series can be, because her character wants to find out if she's still worth it if she's powerless. Does he only think of her as a superwoman, or does he still love her if she loses her powers? The 19-year-old actress pointed out that it's a really emotional scene that shows a young girl dealing with her insecurities. Okay, so that's her favorite scene from the show. Now let's revisit some of the fans' favorite scenes of her on Stranger Things. Hopper and 11's fight in Season 2 dropped an iconic line, "You are like Papa." You see, Season 1 ended with Hopper adopting 11, but he had to protect her from the outside world for a year, and that's not an easy thing to do when you have an angsty teen at home. Jim only wanted the best for her, but his protection meant no friends for a year, and that frustrated her so much that she began to crumble. 11 couldn't stay isolated for longer, so she kept sneaking out of the house. And then Hopper found out and forbid her from eating her favorite Eggo waffles. And even watching TV. She didn't want to keep hiding in the cabin, but he kept assuring her that she'll be with them soon. Hearing this, she threw a psychic tantrum. She began using her powers against him, and she slammed the door in his face. It was pretty harsh to hear her say that Hopper was no different than the cruel Dr. Brenner. The two had a war of words, and even objects, since Elle began to trash his entire cabin. There were things falling off the wall, and her anguished screams shattered the windows. This scene was really upsetting to watch. Like, I understood 11's frustration to go out and meet her friends, but on the other hand, Hopper's concern for her security was also valid. Anyways, I really have to praise David Harbour for tolerating 11's meltdown, and I'm really glad teenagers don't have psychic powers. Now, Millie's character has used her powers for cooler things, like when she flipped a van. Please tell me you haven't forgotten this scene. It's so iconic. Back in Season 1's 7th episode, the Hawkins gang is on the run from agents who are trying to capture 11. I honestly felt chills up my spine when I was watching this scene. I'm sure you did too. Now, with the agents chasing them, there was nowhere they could hide. So Millie's character used her psychokinetic abilities. She just looked up and found a way to flip the van. Phew, what an easy escape from the agents. She's used her powers several times in the show, like when she made a bully pee his pants at Will's eulogy, or when she saved Mike and Dustin from getting killed by bullies. That was the first time she showed the Hawkins kids her powers. But honestly, the moment she flipped the van, viewers really got to know how powerful she can be. It's an amazing scene. Another incredible scene has to be when she closed the Mind Flayer's mother gate. She just looked so fierce as she channeled all her anger into closing the gate for good. And with the nosebleeds, this scene was sick. 11 is a baddie. She's successfully fought off several creatures and managed to close the gates to the Upside Down. But sometimes, viewers can't figure out 11's next move. She's unpredictable. She's emotionally immature, but can you blame her? The kid was snatched away from her mother and grew up in a lab. While she mostly taps into her telepathic powers for good, but she has made mistakes, like the time she smashed Angela's face. Angela and her peers were constantly humiliating her. They laughed at 11's emotional project. You know what? She was powerless at the moment, or else she would have shown these bullies who's the boss. She was going through a difficult time. Her dad was presumed dead. She was in a new town with new faces in a new school. She was being bullied there, and only Will knew what was up. She kept lying to Mike in her letters, and when Mike visited her, she acted like Angela was her friend, but Angela embarrassed her at the roller rink in front of Mike by throwing a milkshake at her. And then 11 went up to Angela and broke her nose with a roller skate. Obviously, diehard 11 fans were happy when this happened, but some fans felt the same way Mike did. Even though 11 does have a violent side thanks to years of bottled up rage, we're not forgetting her empathetic and loyal side. She's piggybacking, or physically there for her friends. She's also ready to sacrifice herself for them. 11 also showed her loyal side when Max joined their squad. At first, she was jealous of how Mike became close to Max, but then she realized that he still likes her. This reminds me to bring up everyone's favorite scene, when 11 dumped Mike outside the mall and went home with Max. When the show started, Mike was a fan favorite character, but then viewers spent more time with him. They began to wonder why he made certain choices. Like, I get it, Mike had trouble trying to communicate his feelings to his love interest during season 3. What did that get him? A breakup. Honestly, it's one of my favorite scenes ever. Mike keeps pushing her away, so Elle's new BFF Max tries to make her feel better. They go to Starcourt Mall, where they try out cool dresses and have fun shopping. Then, suddenly, she runs into Mike. Ugh, day ruined. He lied to her earlier about being busy for the day, and he was at the mall. That's just so heart-crushing. Anyways, what did our girl do? She showed him how angry she was at him, because she thought he was her friend, and friends don't lie. 11 delivered another iconic line during this scene. I dump your Yep, she dumped him right outside the mall and quickly left to catch the next bus home with Max. Millie's character helped the actor show off her acting prowess. There's no doubt that the smash hit show transformed Millie's career. She received nominations for her performance from several accolades. As the main star of the show, she gained international recognition for leading the Hawkins gang through terror, and it also helped her land some major roles. Netflix saw her lead the cast of Stranger Things. The show is a smash hit, as it's the second most watched original series of all time, as well as the most watched English language show. That booked her for the Enola Holmes mystery series. Not only did she star in the movie as Sherlock Holmes' teenage sister, but she produced it as well. While she's set to return for the final season of Stranger Things, she has a separate lucrative deal with Netflix. The Brit actor is set to star and produce the fantasy film Damsel. She's also going to star in the Russo brothers' The Electric State. It's based on Simon Stålenhag's graphic novel of the same name. Even though acting is keeping her so busy, she's found time to write a book. Mills will release her novel titled 19 Steps on September 12, 2023. The historical novel is inspired by her own family history, and it will center on love, loss, and secrets. That's all I have on Millie Bobby Brown's most memorable TV moments.